The lake was calling that weekend, whispering promises of peace with its cool breeze, the distant cry of loons, and that sharp pine scent that makes you want to inhale the world. I'd driven up to my lakeside ecolodge Severy cabin. Every acre, every nail in the place was Manito run a routine inspection. Check the weatherproofing, make sure the sealed units were holding strong after the spring runoff, maybe steal a moment to soak in the quiet. But quiet doesn't last when someone like Susan shows up. There she was, stomping across the gravel path, her hair dyed a shade of blonde that screamed artificial, gripping a clipboard like it was her badge of authority. Designer sunglasses perched on her nose. She thrust a finger at one of my cabins and barked. That structure is in direct violation of HOA Code 17.6, unauthorized occupation of lakefront property. I froze, half out of my truck, caught between amusement and disbelief. That cabin, sealed tighter than a drum, utilities cut, shutters bolted, with a glaring lockout tag reading, "Do not open. Environmental repair in progress." It hadn't seen a soul since a lightning strike toasted its solar system months ago. I'd locked it down myself as the owner, builder, and sole proprietor of this entire lakeside complex. Susan didn't know that, though. She didn't know I held the deeds to every inch of this land. And that ignorance? It was about to make this whole scene a masterclass in irony. She stormed up, waving her phone like a loaded gun, already recording. "You're trespassing," she declared, puffing herself up like a peacock. "I've called the sheriff. You're not allowed here. That cabin's under HOA lockdown for compliance review." I bit back a laugh. HOA? There was no HOA, not a legitimate one. But before I could set her straight, blue lights flickered through the trees, and a cruiser rolled in. Most people would have tensed up, especially with Susan ranting about felonies and waterfront misuse, but I just raised a hand. "Sheriff Daniels," and I went back to high school, shared beers, shared stories. He stepped out, gave me a quick nod, then turned to Susan. "Ma'am, I need your ID." Her face twitched, confidence splintering. "Why? What for?" she sputtered. Daniels kept his tone even. "You reported a criminal trespass. I need to verify the complaint. ID, please." Her hand faltered, the phone sagging. "I didn't bring it," she mumbled, then jabbed a finger at me. "But he's the trespasser." Daniels glanced my way, one eyebrow raised. "You own this place, don't you?" I grinned, pulling out my land title card. "Every square foot. Want the deeds? I can pull the easement boundaries, too." Susan's jaw worked like a broken hinge, open, shut, open again. "You're not a tenant?" "Nope," I said, leaning against my truck. "Owner, builder, manager, licensed environmental consultant. This whole complex? My design." That's when her world started to crumble. Daniel stepped closer, eyes narrowing. "So why'd you file a false police report, ma'am?" Susan's face went beet red as she scrambled for excuses, something about HOA codes, lake oversight, and community standards. But here's the bombshell. There was no HOA. Susan and a couple of seasonal busybodies had cooked up a fake neighborhood council, printing shoddy notices, taping them to rental doors, and mailing fake dues invoices to out-of-town owners. They'd been pocketing the cash for their own little ego trip. I'd ignored their nonsense until Susan tried to have me cuffed on my own property. Daniels shook his head. "Fake HOA's a civil issue, maybe. But a false police report? That's criminal." Susan's bravado collapsed. "I was just protecting the lakefront," she cried. "People like him come in, build things, ruin everything." I pointed at the sealed cabin. "It's been locked since January. You could have asked." Her eyes flashed. "I don't ask people like you," she hissed. Daniels cut in. "Ma'am, you're coming with me. We'll sort this at the station." Her face went blank, like someone had yanked her power cord. She muttered, "This is absurd," and spun toward the path, speed walking like she could erase the last 10 minutes. Daniels wasn't playing. "Ma'am, stop. You're detained." She kept going. He hit his radio. "Backup needed. Suspect on foot." Another cruiser pulled in minutes later. Susan made it to the gravel lot before they stopped her. I stood there, arms crossed, watching the drama unfold like a reality show gone rogue. Daniels wandered back, eyeing the sealed cabin. "Built like a bunker," he said, whistling. "Ever thought of using it for emergency shelter?" I smirked. "Got a permit in the works for a Red Cross backup site." Susan, now in the back of a cruiser, had nearly derailed a disaster relief facility. Daniels laughed, the sound carrying across the lake. That's gonna sting on her rap sheet. And sting it did. Susan's fake counsel was a full-blown scam. Trail cams caught her sneaking into sealed cabins, iPad in hand, playing inspector. The state attorney piled on charges: impersonation of a government entity, mail fraud, harassment. Those fake invoices. They brought in the postal inspector federal territory. She's staring down a trial next month. Her counsel vanished like smoke. I didn't stop there. I turned the complex into a veterans retreat-free stays for wounded warriors, their families, with the sheriff's office keeping watch. Trail cam signs are everywhere now, just in case another Susan gets ideas. She still drives by, though, in her beige Prius, binoculars glinting, glaring like I stole her empire. I just wave, because that cabin she tried to report? It's got a new sign, monitored by veterans and karma. A month later, I was on that cabin's porch, coffee in hand, watching the lake shimmer gold. Word came through. Susan took a plea: 3 misdemeanors, 1 felony knocked down, restitution for every fake invoice, and a 5-year ban from any community board, even a book club. But the lawsuit? It's still alive, a class action beast. Other owners, realizing Susan scammed them for years, fake dues, fake fines, even renting out sealed cabins, lawyered up. My trail cams, emails, and records are the prosecution's crown jewels. Susan tried to counterclaim, saying we conspired, that the cabins were abandoned, and she was preserving value. The judge cut her off. Are you on the deed, ma'am? She wasn't. Now, the town's got a new saying: don't go full Susan. It's on a sticker at the Route 7 bait shop. HOA free zone. We checked. The community's closer than ever. Owners, renters, families at Friday lakefront cookouts. The Veterans Retreat runs twice monthly, funded by donations we used to waste on Susan's fake patrols. Every time I pass where she stood, ranting about rules, I'm reminded it was about control, not codes. And she lost it when someone said, not today. If you've got a Susan trying to rule your world, document everything. Know your rights. Let the law speak when the time's right.